A Norfolk mother publishes her first book today, which is an account of her son Tim's mental health and how she and the rest of the family coped too. Tim had a bipolar disorder and died in 2014. His mum, Caroline Aldridge, has written a book called He Died Waiting, about Tim's experiences. And Caroline's good enough to join us on the line this morning. Hello, Caroline.
Hello. Good morning.
Nice to talk to you. Tell me all about Tim then.
Tim was 30 when he died, but he was a very big character, bright and chatty and kind. But unfortunately, he got seen more and judged more for the labels that are associated with his mental health and how he behaved when he was unwell.
And I imagine the title of the book, He Died Waiting, tells a story in its own way.
Yeah, he died waiting for an appointment that was offered too late, but he was always waiting. He waited years for a diagnosis, and he waited often for appointments that didn't come at the right time for him. He waited for treatments that never came. He was just always waiting, and in the end, he died waiting for a service that just wasn't there for him.
2014, it seems fairly recent, but it's 7 years ago now, and I wonder how things have changed since then. How aware was society in general of the importance of mental health in 2014? What was your battle like to get Tim the help that he needed?
Well, back then, I was very ignorant when he was first ill. He was ill for 15 years, and I didn't know anything about mental health. And I do think that in the last 15, 16 years, there's been a real leap forward in awareness of mental health, but the stigma still remains. It's very hard to be mentally unwell or to be a parent of someone that's unwell because of the judgments people make. But I think I wrote the book more because nothing had changed. So in those intervening years, I've just watched the same things that happened to Tim that led to his death happening to family after family after family. And I think it's that frustration that the lessons aren't being learned, and we're not making the progress and improvements that need to be made, and every death should be an outrage, and it should be prompting change. And I guess I'm a really positive person and try to find a way of doing something positive about that.
Yeah, so something like this is never going to leave you, Caroline. So what about the process of writing the book? How has that affected your mental health?
For my mental health, it's actually been really good. I was stuck because of all the processes that happened following a death, and I wasn't able to grieve really or start grieving till about 2.5 years after Tim died. And actually writing the book helped me process, put in order, and I'm a social worker, and I started researching, looking at what was happening elsewhere and trying to make sense of it, and realised actually I wasn't alone, that although this is about Tim and what happened to me, this is happening to other families, and actually it wasn't my fault. This is part of a big systemic failing. And so actually it helped me kind of make some sense of everything that happened, I think. It was quite cathartic.
Yeah, and the finished product as well, it can be cathartic writing it, but then putting it out there and sharing it with everybody else, that's another experience again, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think I'd underestimated just how many distraught, desperate people are out there that are not getting the help they need. And since I put it out there, I've been sort of inundated with messages and emails from people saying that I've articulated something that's happened to them, that maybe they've never felt they could speak about it. They feel very alone. So part of what I'm looking at as we move forward from the book is to think about how those people can be supported. Obviously, I can't support them all. It's just one of me. But, how I can work with other people to think about the help that people need.
It's such a complex issue, isn't it? If it was simple, we'd put it right very quickly.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there is one thing that we could bring in now, that going forward, that would help people who are in the position that you were in a few years ago. Is there one lesson that we haven't learned? Is there something you would like to see done now?
I think it's all about values. I think resources are tight, we know that, but actually if we do things with the right heart, with the right attitudes, we can make very scant resources go further. If we just behaved with kindness and humanity and started thinking about what this means for people, when there are thresholds or commissioning issues, all the stuff that you talk about on your programme week after week, that, actually if it came at it from people thinking about this could be anyone's son or daughter, any of us could need mental health services at some point. And if we just thought about how we behaved, I think we could make the most of the resources we've got.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at it. Now, you've got the official launch of the book tonight, haven't you? How does that work during a pandemic?
There's no wine or nipples, sadly. I've been really fortunate. The University of Essex Social Work Department and a charity called Mental Health Time for Action offered to host a launch for me, and it's a webinar. So we've got speakers, and I'll be speaking and reading, but we've got other speakers really thinking about how to use my book as a learning tool and push for positive change. So quite exciting, really, and it means I've got people from all over the country signed in, and I've got MPs and academics and mental health trusts and service users and bereaved families, and of course my family and friends. So exciting, but I'm really nervous too.
I bet you are. Well done. You've got a big day ahead of you, Caroline. Where can people find the book if they'd like to read your story?
Okay, all the information about it's on my website, which is www.learningsocialworker.com, and that's all one word, lowercase. So really easy to find. And actually, if you just Google "he died waiting," I pop up.
Caroline, lovely to talk to you. Good luck with everything. Caroline Aldridge, and the book "He Died Waiting" is out today, talking about her own family's experiences of mental health issues.